Calvin has taken, so everything I shared today, the guest blog post, the quantum leap growth, how do you do it? This guy is a relentless action taker. Relentless. As soon as I met him, I just wanted to just grab him by the cheeks and just give him a big wet kiss. Because he just takes action. Heavier, that's what we need. We need action. That's all it is. And so, had no idea what to do. Was door knocking, and I said, dude, if you're committed and you're ready to go and you're ready to take action, he was like, anything, man, anything. So Calvin, what happened?
What's up, guys?
Yeah.
So, how I want to take this is, you've gotten maybe a little something from this event, I would say, yeah? Like a good strategy, maybe inspiration, met some cool people, right? And we've heard a lot of inspiration here already, but would it be all right with you if we get real for just a second?
Oh.
You guys cool with that?
Oh.
Let's get real. So, it was just a year ago that I was literally in your seat. I was here on the front row somewhere, in this same building, in this town that I had just barely moved to. And the getting real is, you're probably sitting here, maybe sometime throughout the day, you're looking on stage, you see people that have done awesome things, like even Nick, seeing what he's done, seeing all these people, and you're like, yes, I'd love to have my own business. Yes, I'd love to make an impact on the world. But can I really? Am I actually good enough? Can I do this? Right? Has anybody had any inkling of that? Of wondering if it can actually be done? That's where I was. Seeing a few hands go up. Thanks for the vulnerability and honesty. I know where you are because that's exactly where I was. And if there's anything that I want so desperately anybody in here to know is, first of all, with me, I'm just a normal dude. And everybody up here that you've seen, they're no different than you. I remember sitting there on the front row, watching Nick, and seeing all these different people. One of the speakers was John Lee Dumas, a friend. We saw him on the slide, and we did all these exercises with vision, right? You guys did some of those yesterday, yeah? And I sat there and I was like, what do I want? If I could have whatever I wanted, what would I want? Yes, I want to be. It'd be so cool to be published on Entrepreneur Magazine. That would be unreal. And then I saw John Lee Dumas on stage. He has one of the biggest podcasts ever, the Entrepreneur on Fire podcast. Anybody know John in here, yeah?
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? If I really, really had what I wanted, it'd be cool to interview him, but man, I want to be interviewed by him. That would be so cool. It'd be so cool to be a keynote speaker and to be on stage like that dude Nick. Man, I wish I could have that. I wish I could have I want a book. Yes, I wish I could have a book. And then it all comes down to, I was in boatloads of debt, wanted to be debt-free, and I had one little issue, just one little problem. No freaking idea what I wanted to do for my business. Literally, I'd never done anything in business in my entire life. And I got to this point where I was like, do I actually want to make a change? Do I want to jump into this thing? Do I really believe that there's something inside of me that I could contribute? At the same time, being scared out of my mind. And I remember when I was trying to decide if I wanted to take the jump. And I projected myself 10 years into the future, and I thought, what if I freaking don't do anything?
Oh.
What if I don't? What if I wake up 10 years down the road and nothing has changed? That ate at me. But you want to know what ate at me even worse? You're all in here for something. There's this fire inside of you. You wouldn't be here at the late in day 2 if there wasn't something in you. I believe that with all of my heart. And I thought, what if I wake up 10 years down the road and that fire inside of me died? That gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. That is what made me say, I'm gonna fucking do this. And that's what I did.
Hey.
And the next month, I started taking action. As Nick says, he calls me fearless. I wasn't fearless. I felt the fear, and I just took action anyway. And where I was I where I wanted to be in a month? Nope. But I got up, and I took some more action anyway. 2 months in, was where I wanted to be? Nope. But I got up, and I took action anyway. And I will never forget January. It was January 2nd. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary. I'd just been taking boatloads of action on this stuff, and I had submitted 4 different articles to Entrepreneur Magazine, and I ended up calling the guy that morning who was helping me get on Entrepreneur and said, they haven't got a hold of me for 3 weeks. What should I do? Is there something wrong? And he said, no, that's fine. Just send another email just so that you can get on top of their list. They're probably busy over the holidays. I go to my email, and I see a notification from Twitter. I had just barely gotten on Twitter. I was no social media dude yet. And I was tagged by Entrepreneur Magazine. I was like, what's this? I open it up, and I'll just apologize in advance to Megan, because this is what I said. The computer's up, and I'm like, holy shit. And I was like, holy shit. And my wife is like, what's going on? Is something wrong? I'm like, look. And I had to, I was on my phone, and I had to go on my computer. It said, article published by Calvin Wayman on Entrepreneur Magazine. That's when I was like, holy cow, this vision stuff, this I want to do stuff is real. By the way, just a few other things. Wanted to be on John Lee Dumas's podcast. October 6th, I was interviewed by John Lee Dumas on his podcast.
Yeah.
Wanted to have my own business. Had no idea. Was all over. Some of you guys probably in here, I could do this, I could do this, I could do that. And after I got on Entrepreneur Magazine, I'm talking to Nick, and I'm like, this is nuts. What should I do now? And he's like, dude, we got to just get you focused because you just zero in. This is all good, but we need to get something tangible that you can be referable. You know what? You've been blowing up on social media. This is giving you social media cred. You should become a social media manager. And through the help of Nick, was able to do that. And at the time, by the way, I was in more debt last year than any time in my entire life. Because I consider a benefit now, but at the time I invested $20,000. You guys only get to do half, so I feel sorry for you. But that was my annual income a few years ago, to be totally honest. And this year, in March, the first day of spring, I became officially debt-free for the first time in my entire adult life. And I wanted to be a speaker. Had no idea what was going to happen if I could ever be a speaker. The universe is just freaking weird and amazing once you get into this stuff. Somebody randomly messaged me a few months ago and said, oh, by the way, I wrote a book, Fish Out of Water. Did that too. Didn't want to forget that. But because of that, this guy said, you need to speak at this event. And he didn't say speak, he said get involved. And I don't know if you've ever heard anybody ask you to get involved in something. I thought he wanted me to donate money or something. And I said, sell me. Why do I care? Why do I want to get involved? He said, well, first of all, you'll get paid, and they'll fly you out, and they'll put you in a hotel room, and you'll speak in front of 2,000 people. I was like, tell me more. 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, they're announcing their keynote speaker because I got that gig. And I'm like, who am I? I want to know who I'm speaking next to. Who's the keynote these guys are bringing out? They announce celebrity keynote speaker Calvin Wayman. So 2.5 weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago now, I gave my first ever keynote presentation in front of 2,200 people.
So cool. So cool, man.
And what is it? Nick's been saying all day, my friend Michael O'Neill said it earlier. There's all this stuff in your head. You're wondering how. How is none of your business. That's what I had to learn. I had to learn that it's all about making a decision and then making it right. When I had the moment where I was like, yes, I'm going to do this, I was scared out of my mind. I didn't know if it could be done or if I was going to make it back, but then I realized what Nick said. It freed me. The most successful people in the world don't worry if they made a right decision or not. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy of what happens after the decision is made. And the thing that freed me too, that will free you, is done is better than perfect.
Dang.
Get in the game.
All right. Just give a big hand.